It's time to bring back the death penalty. He went out of his way to kill children in a cold-blooded, planned attack.
Crime isn't as appalling as you think it is.
When's the country going to wake up?
I don't know. I don't know.
And in Wales,
Welcome to Tactical Truths, the go-to series for military news, tactical analysis, and frontline stories that matter. Before we get started, I need your help. 73% of you who watch regularly haven't subscribed yet. If you like what we do, hit that subscribe button, it's free, and helps us make this show better for you every single week. I'm Phil Campion, former UK SAS, and this is Tactical Truths. The UK abolishes the death penalty in 1998, even for crimes like treason and piracy. Yet, public opinion is shifting. A recent poll indicates that 55% of Britons support bringing back capital punishment for certain crimes. With national security threats evolving and cases like Axel Rudakubana's dominating headlines, the debate is back in focus. Now let's take a look at what's being said by the press, shall we? Oh, here we go. A warning, distressing content. I'll be the judge of that.
In my view, it's time to bring back the death penalty.
All right, that's a straight, let's bring it back, wasn't it? Nana's up for it. Nana says bring it back.
I can remember the first time I came into prominence when I said I would bring back the death penalty and as an option for child murderers and castration for paedophiles where there is no question of guilt.
There you go. So she's saying kill murderers, kick the nuts off a paedophile. You can say she's fairly brutal, is old Nana, isn't she?
In Axel Rudakubana's case, there is no question of any.
Right, fair enough. Rudakubana is an absolute creature, proven beyond reasonable doubt. You know, there's evidence there that absolutely nails him, guiltier than a puppy next to a pile of shit. That's the sort of stuff I'm talking about. He is as guilty could be. There could be no argument that he's not guilty. So all this other stuff doesn't stack up to me. Oh, we might have got the wrong bloke. He was the bloke. He's the wrong 'un and all.
Doubt. Rudakubana got 52 years for murdering
52 years. I mean, what is he, 20? He could be out by the time he's 80 and he could do it again because I'm sure he would if he got half a chance. So, yeah, 52 years. And just think about the expense on that for a moment as well. The expense of keeping him in videos and stuff for 52 years. You know what I mean? Because it's not, they don't just put them in a cold honking cell, which if they did, you could argue that it's just as hard doing 52 years in a cold honking cell where you're going to get, you know, nothing in life. But he's not. He's going to go into somewhere half decent. He's going to get loads of sort of like bits and pieces in. Probably get some education. Probably get some books thrown his way. A video game and all the rest of the crap that they get. Do you know what I mean? So, not much of a deterrent, is it?
children in.
And the other thing that he supposedly has got in his own mind is a bit of notoriety as well, isn't it? Just a honking creature, as far as I can see.
Blood and attempted murder on those who survived. He actually went out of his way with murder in mind. He went out of his way to kill children in a cold-blooded, planned attack. I'm sick of this mamby-pamby, oh, poor criminal approach. Criminals who we know have done the crime being given lenient sentences, and in this case, a murderer of defenceless children, seen in the act, filmed in the act, and stopped in the act.
There you go. Not only that, once he got inside, he's attacked people and he's tried to tip boiling water. It's just, the man's an absolute waste of rations, like, do you know what I mean? Probably for a lot of people, the way to deal with that is an OBE, what I call one behind the ear. Do you know what I mean? In it goes. It's all over, isn't it?
Well, there is no reasonable doubt that the death penalty should be on the table. The common arguments are, we are no better than the murderer if we take a life. Well, I'm OK with that. I don't think that's true. I would even go as far as to say that the death penalty is actually the kindest option. Rather than making them suffer in prison, which there is no guarantee that they will suffer in prison, I would like to...
I think that's a big point for me. There's no guarantee that you're not going to suffer in prison, are you? Do you know what I mean? You'll eventually become conditioned to your surroundings and you'll get on with it and you'll cope and you'll carry on because that's what humans do.
People like this executed to put everyone out of their misery. I'm more concerned about the suffering of the victims that they endured and the suffering of the victims' families. Why should they have to live with the knowledge that their child is dead whilst Rudakubana continues to live. Well, joining me now is political commentator Matthew Stadlen.
Hopefully we'll get a bit of an opinion on this from both sides of the coin, because I want to hear somebody try and defend not having a death penalty. I just want to hear someone do that.
Matthew, well, those are my views. What are yours?
My view is that we shouldn't kill people. And I've seen this week, because this is such a particularly heinous and egregious case, and a case that you, I, and every single person watching, I hope, will agree has shocked us and chilled us to the core. Some people have said on social media that it's made them question their view on the death penalty.
Has it made you question yours?
No.
No, right. Well, why? I'm going to... Let's hear him out, Phil. Hear him out, Phil.
And this is, in a sense, I think it's a question, it's a value judgment, this. It's almost like if I were to say to you, I'm Christian, or I'm Muslim, or I'm Jewish, it'd be difficult for you to argue me out of that. It's a view I hold, and I don't think human beings should, in the context of our justice system, be responding to unimaginable cruelty with a form of physical cruelty ourselves. Doesn't mean that I think that the crime isn't as appalling as you think it is. I'm a parent, and my focus would be, if I were in government, on doing absolutely everything I could do to make sure, or to do the very best that we could do to make sure that it won't happen again.
Oh, really? So that already falls flat on its face when you think that Rudakubana went straight into prison and has reoffended at his first opportunity. He's tipped a golden hot boiling kettle on somebody, and I'm sure if he got the chance, he would kill someone if he could. Do you know what I mean? I'm absolutely convinced by that. Some people are beyond repair in that respect. Is my opinion. This guy obviously thinks different. In an ideal world, in a lovely world where the clouds were made of marshmallows and unicorns roamed freely, yeah, it probably would be possible. But they don't, and they're not.
Is Keir Starmer right then not to apply a whole life sentence to him because he's about 9 days short of his 18th?
We will require a change of the law.
Do you think that...
And my understanding of the Prime Minister's position is that he's not going to bring in a change to the law because that would flout international law. So I can understand that.
But do you think that it's... I mean, some things you can flout in terms of international law. Other countries do it on a...
Exactly. Why do we have Brexit? Why do we get our own autonomy if we can't make up our own laws? Surely that makes a little bit of sense somewhere, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? We're not interested in what the Europeans do. We're not interested in international law. We're interested in looking after our own people and the welfare of the good citizens that live in this country and their children. Surely that's what it's about, is it? Tell me if I'm wrong.
Of this is murder. This is somebody who's managed to evade. In fact, Rudakubana tried to plead not guilty, which again is taking the mickey out of the law.
I don't think that monster will ever see life outside of a prison.
But why should we pay for him?
I don't think he would.
Why?
Well, you don't think we should pay for him. I think we should pay for him because...
If he's never coming out, why would you bother to try and rehabilitate him? Is another argument I would personally throw his way. Do you know what I mean? He's of no use to man nor beast. He's a drain on resources which could be going to help other people. That's a fact, isn't it?
I don't think that we should take life in response to other people taking life.
But what...
Well, if that was true, we wouldn't go to war or anything, would we? We'd just lay down, roll over, and be tickled, wouldn't we? In you come, in foreign invaders, have us, take us. Do you know what I mean? Or let's not stand up for ourselves. Let's just let them roam free, and we won't take a life in response to having life taken. We'll just let them roam. No, doesn't stack up, does it? It doesn't stack up. When you look at it in the cold light of day, it just does not stack up and gives you more and more arguments for saying let's pull the pin on some of these creatures.
I say it's a value judgment.
I think we should bring back the death penalty, Tom. I really do. I think the country's got too lame. There's too many people now being put in prison for killing people, knifing them. When's the country going to wake up?
No, I can't wait to see what this fella's got to say.
I don't know. And
I thought they
listen,
were supposed to have a vote on it every year.
Yeah, I can't stop from bubbling up the feeling that anyone, but I think particularly parents of young children listening to that sentencing now feel about what should happen to that man. And it's hard to stop the feeling that nobody loses if that man ceases to live.
How many people this year?
Yeah, it's like me saying, well, nobody wins if he lives. Do you know what I mean? Nobody wins if he lives. Nobody loses if he dies. Well, what kind of a statement's that?
Stabbed for nothing. How many people are going to be...
The taxpayer alone wins if he dies because we don't have to pay for him anymore. It's saved a bit of dough, haven't you?
in prison for life? How many people are in prison for life at the moment, wasting our money?
But if you carry that thought through,
they need to be dead.
If you carry that thought through, and the overwhelming emotion, Andy, that everyone's feeling about this, then
if you're prepared to take a knife out, Tom, to kill somebody, and you kill somebody with it, you should have your life taken at the same time. The thing is, Andy,
listen.
Okie dokie, we've just seen what the press are saying, but here's our summary. The UK's legal stance on capital punishment has changed dramatically over the past century. Once used for crimes like murder, espionage and treason, the death penalty was fully abolished by 1998. And yet, when cases like Axel Rudakubana's hit the headlines, where children are murdered in cold blood, the debate re-emerges. With some force, I can tell you. Supporters of the death penalty argue it's about justice, deterrence and protecting society. They question why taxpayers should fund decades of incarceration for individuals who have committed unimaginable crimes. They point to other nations like the US or Japan, where executions are still used in the gravest of cases. In their view, the death penalty provides a final, unequivocal statement that some acts forfeit your right to live. But opponents push back hard. They warn of the risk of wrongful convictions, pointing to historic miscarriages of justice. They argue that capital punishment doesn't deter crime and that society should never mirror violence. It condemns it. Some people believe life imprisonment, especially with no chance of relief, is the harsher, more just punishment. And then there's the moral question. Should a state ever have the power to take a life? This isn't about one case, it's about the values of a nation. Justice, yes, but what form should it take? As society evolves, so must our laws. And the question now is whether the death penalty still has a place in modern Britain, or does it belong firmly in the past? And if you want to hear the conversations we can't discuss openly, join our membership for just 16 pence a day on Force TV Plus, and we'll tell you what perhaps we shouldn't say out this side.